Hi everyone, and welcome to another episode of Ron on Risk. All right, in the previous video, we talked a little bit about the risk management process, a very basic and old school model, but still works, and why I think that it needs to be the basis of pretty much every decision that we make. And that's greatly simplifying how humans make decisions, right? But that particular process, I think, is effective. In an organizational context, right, or even in a personal context as well, the question then becomes, how do we communicate that in a way that makes sense to relevant stakeholders, whatever that might look like in your context? And the model that I really like for that is called STICC, S-T-I-C-C. It's for Managing the Unexpected by Wake and Sutcliffe, which is a fantastic book. And STICC stands for Situation, Task, Intent, Concerns, and Calibration. What does that mean? So once we have gone through the risk management process and we have made a decision, we need to communicate that to relevant stakeholders. So the first thing we communicate is the situation, which is, here's what I think we face. What is the issue that we're facing? Then we look at task, T, right? Task. Here's what I think is the most appropriate response. So what do I think we face? What do I think we need to do about it? The next part is incredibly important, and a lot of time people neglect that. That's intent, which is the why. Why do I think that this is the most appropriate response? And that is an incredibly powerful tool to use. If you don't include your why, it's much harder to get people to buy into your vision, regardless of what that is, or solution, regardless of what that is. Okay. We then will look at concerns, and concerns means here are the things that I think we need to look out for while we're implementing this particular solution. Those are things that can indicate that it's not working, or that it's starting to veer off course, or that maybe it's working better than we thought. But what are the things that we need to look out for? And finally, calibration, which means getting feedback from those around you who are involved. So generally, there's three things that are mentioned here. The first one is there something that you don't understand in terms of what I've described so far? So clarification. Then we look at, is there something that you can't do or don't know how to do if this is a person who is involved in implementing part of the solution? This is incredibly important to ask and clarify. And finally, is there something that you know that I don't, which may affect the timeline, the solution that we go for, how we implement it, the things we need to look out for, or anything in that process, okay? Now, when we communicate things in that way, it provides a complete picture. It gets clarification and buy-in from those around you, and then we can move forward with a particular solution and make sure that, again, we monitor and review that to tweak as needed. Okay, so we looked at the decision-making process, and then we looked at the STICC model in terms of how we communicate those decisions in a way that will get buy-in and will ensure best results. In the next video, we'll talk a little bit about some of the ideas around resilience that can really lift that up to the next level to get high performance and not just minimize risk, but also maximize upside and opportunity.